the next module is actually the contract module, being able to take all of the different parts of that workflow that we've just created and create a contract to get e-signature from those teams on. So let's go to the contract module as the third point. Very easily and quickly, we can say what we would like to include in that contract. I'm just going to check all of these and I'm going to call this contract and I'll hit print. It creates us a contract at the bottom. It could be filtered based on the teams involved. It could be filtered based on the milestones, could be filtered based on the folder structure, based on what information we need. And all of those filters can create a specific contract for a specific party. We've just selected everything and just defaulted to the default cover page and default settings and default header and footer, etc. But what that's doing in the background here is it's gathering all of those inputs and putting them into one PDF. So once this creates that contract, once that's formed, we will then also be able to get approval on the document. Let's wait a second for that to gather all of that information and create the contract. And then once it's finished, you can leave the page as well and come back. Usually it only takes a few seconds, especially if you filtered it down. But this is probably creating a document that's quite a few pages long. We can assign the document to different teams as well, if we wanted to. And as we add more team members to the project, we can also require them to sign that document as well. So in a second, this should finish. He says very confidently. Usually this really does only take a few seconds, so it must be quite a few pages long. And there we go. Okay, so now we've got this document. I could open the PDF and see what it looks like. And okay, yeah, 91 pages on this PDF. All of the details for the document have been filled out. So there's only myself on this project at the moment, but all of the cover pages and headers and footers and indexes and everything that we've defined in our project has now been created for us in here in a nice document that if we go all the way through to, let's look at, yeah, we've got links to these, to any external sites and any videos that were uploaded. And then we also have the scope. So in here we have the different stages. So stage 4 with the 2 BIM uses and stage 6 with the handover as well. And everything in here as well is linked. So that stair example has a set of content that's also linked. If you go to the content, you can see this is the set of requirements, even down to what maybe specs were linked to that document as well, to that set of requirements as well. So you can see right the way through that chain of requirements back to that contract. I mentioned it's about getting approval. So how do we get approval? Well, there's only myself, so I'll just say I'll ask myself for approval, and that would be pretty easy. But I would get an email. The teams that would need required signatories, they would get emails. If I hit the review button, and I can say, I could sign my name by typing it, or I could manually sign my name like so, and agree to adopting that. And when I've signed it, it now gets affixed to that contract, and everything that has just been created, we see with the signature page and my signature, and every single person's signature will come through and be added to this exact same document. So this document has everything that we just saw in it, and it's now approved. So that one's a pretty quick one as far as getting approval. But what we looked at was using templates to create the plan and scope, filter it for a contract, and then get everyone's e-signature on that contract so that we can start off the project on the right foot with the right parties, knowing exactly what they need to do.